This is a quick tutorial on how to create a project in Netbeans using the gluon plugin so that you can create an application and install it to an Android device. We're going to go ahead and start this video by assuming that you have the correct version of Java, Netbeans, and the gluon plugin for Netbeans already installed. However, if you don't, I'll provide a helpful link to a YouTube video which is made by gluon and walks you through that process. So we'll go ahead and start first by activating the developer options on your Android device. So how you do that is go into the settings menu, you'll swipe over to system. If the developer options are not already open, click on about device, and you can click on the build number 7 times and that should activate developer options. So once you've done that, you can go back. Now click on developer options and make sure that USB debugging is turned on. That way you can actually install the application. The next thing we'll do is go ahead and go into Netbeans and create the project. So to do that, it'll just be made as any other Netbeans project is usually made, except you'll click on the gluon category here. For this example, we'll go ahead and click on the gluon mobile single view project. We'll just go ahead and name this one GluonTutorial for now. Everything else here should stay the same. Leave the platforms Android, iOS, and desktop selected. Once you've done that, go ahead and select Finish. I do know some other people in the class had issues with the project actually building in Netbeans. I can't specifically speak on that because as you can see here, it seemed to build all of the files that I'm going to need for this project. So perhaps they're using a different version of Netbeans. I'm really not sure, but it's always worked for me. So anyway, the next thing we'll do is we need to go see what version of the SDK we have. So to do that, what I did was I went into the C folder, clicked on Users, the user profile that I'm using, scrolled down to AppData, which is grayed out, but we can click on it anyway. Then Local, Android, SDK, and then in the Build Tools folder, you'll find the 2 versions of the SDK. So you can see here the latest version of the SDK I have is 25.0.2. So we don't necessarily need that right now, but we'll hang on to that for later. So what you'll need to do now is go into the project here, and you'll need the build.gradle file opened. You can find that here under Build Scripts Project, and it's in the project folder. So once you've done that, there are a few things we'll need to add to this and change so that it does work. The first thing we'll need to do is add the following URL in this block of code. Okay, once you've done that, the next thing to do is this version of the plugin has changed from 1.2.0 to 1.3.1. So go ahead and make that change real quick. And so once you've done that, the final thing we're going to need to do here is in the Android block of code down here, we'll have to update the SDK and the Build Tools version it's using. So type in the following: Build Tools version equals 25.0.2, and we found that earlier by navigating through the into the SDK files. The next thing we'll do is type in compile SDK version equals 25. Once you put those 2 things in, everything should be fine to go ahead and install this application to the device. But what we want to do first is go ahead and run it just in Netbeans and make sure it does actually run and we haven't messed anything else up. So it does take a minute, so just be patient with it as far as letting it build. And once it's complete here, it should just pop out a little demo GUI, and it has a button on it and a few other things. Okay, so you can see here that the gluon plugin does come with a little basic GUI just to kind of get your feet wet. So it's got a menu, some type of menu here, a search button, and also a button that changes the text here. So now that we know it works in Netbeans, it's time to go ahead and install it to the Android device. So at this point, you can go ahead and plug your device into the computer and make sure it is allowing the computer to communicate with it. So now to do this, we'll right click on the GluonTutorial, go to Tasks, select Android and Android install. Now, this is going to take quite a while, probably 3 or 4 minutes, so if you don't want to sit here, I'll let this video run just to capture everything that's coming out in the output window here, but if you don't want to see all this, just go ahead and fast forward a few minutes. Okay, you can see that it's finally stopped running here, and it's claiming that the build was successful. So if that's the case, you should be able to now go into your phone and see that the application is installed on your phone and that it runs the exact same way that it did when we ran it in Netbeans. So anyway, that completes this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Feel free, if you have any questions, to add them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, as I am kind of new to this whole plugin. So anyway, thanks for watching.